Hi, my name's Dave Bodie from BodieMedia.tv, bringing you this course exclusively for Tuts Plus Premium. In this course, we are going to look at a whole bunch of different text treatments to make your typography projects or your titling look really, really slick. And to start off, what I wanted to show you was a project that I worked on with a buddy of mine named Andrew Manzano, who I partner with on a lot of video productions. Came up with this idea for this video for churches. And he basically wrote the script and he hired a voiceover guy and asked me to do the animation. So I wanted to show you this because a lot of the stuff that we're going to look at, I used in this video clip, and it looks really cool and it's not very hard to do, but this is kind of real basic stuff that if you string it together with the right camera movements and the right keyframing can look really cool. So check this out.
The biggest obstacle in your life today could be one of the smallest words in the English language. So many times we blame everyone and everything else for our situation when the problem is this little two-letter word. What is that word? If. I'll give my life to Jesus if. Fill in the blank. How often this word stands in the way of our obedience to God.
I would share Jesus with people at my job if...
I'd start tithing if...
I would enter into the worship today if...
I'd spend more time with my kids
I would go on that missions trip.
I'd start treating my wife better if...
God, I'll really start serving you if...
By adding if, we make excuses. We bargain with God. We set conditions for our obedience or try to shift the responsibility to others. The word if implies that God needs to do more to hold up His end of the bargain. He has already done what we need most. While we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. He didn't die for us based on if. He died for us because. Because He loved us with an unquenchable love. Let's not obey God if. Let's obey Him because. Let's love God because. Today, let's enter into worship not based on if, but because. Let's lose the if. Because.
I just wanted to kind of go over this with you a little bit because the techniques we're going to look at in the video, we're going to look at a bunch of these techniques here. Just in the beginning here, we have a couple of different animations. We have this slide effect where it kind of looks like the words are just sliding out of nothing really. And then we have just some animations where the words just kind of pop on in your life today right here. For this video, I tried to key on some different words to kind of animate those to bring a little more attention to them. So for instance, the word smallest, I had when it first popped on, I had it the size of the regular text here. Could be one of the smallest. And then I had it shrink down, smallest words. And you see I did that kind of just a little scale effect there. And then in this next shot, you see we have this kind of cool write-on effect. We're going to look at how to do that. And this kind of thing is just some different blending modes to make it look like these little ink splatters are actually on the paper here. And okay, look at this next little animation here. This is actually some animations with solids. It's using solids and masks to basically recreate characters and then animating between two sets of words so that it looks like this W is going to grow into a capital W. Now, I didn't just scale this W up because a scaled up W, when I was doing this, doesn't look like a capital W. It's not the same size exactly. And I'm like really weird about making it look exactly perfect. So we're going to go over the technique and some of that kind of letter morphing as well. Bloop. You see, real simple, real fast. And then coming up again in this little thing, we have this little flip down effect where I think I take this letter right here. The next thing after this little phrase here, what is that word? Is if. And so this is going to flip down and the opacity is going to drop out on most of these. And then two of them are going to morph into the word if. Boop. See that? Flips down. Boom. And then we have if right there. Let me show you that one more time. Boop. And I'll slowly step that so you can see. So it flips down. And see, it's the exact same size as that right there. And those fade away while these come up and slide into the letter if. Now, that same letter drops down here. It goes to black. And then out of that same exact shape, I make these two letters. Kind of morphs down here. See that? I spent a little bit of time just getting this look just right. I found this, I don't know what this form is, some kind of marriage certificate or something. I found the right font that looked bang on and kind of blurring the text and also finding the right opacity and blend mode to make this look exactly like the rest of this form, because these words are mine. All the rest of this is a real form that I found. And the effect is that it looks, it's some kind of tax form, I guess. It looks legit. So, but that little kind of text morph thing there is another thing we're going to look at as well, where it's actually pretty simple. It's just some shapes and some keyframes, but you have to do a little bit of kind of pre-planning in how you get to one animation to the other so that they don't end up looking like blobs. And sometimes they'll just end up looking like blobs and you just have to deal with it. And then this is like the only really kind of 3D shot in this whole little piece here. Where we started here and have this big if standing in front of this sign that says obedience to God. And then in this back wall here, I had text look like it was sliding down, and then it's going to slide in front of the if right there. And then right here is a whole bunch of things that are in the first part of this course where we look at these little rotation ins and these slides, stuff like that. And if you string them all together with some different font choices, some different colors, it looks really, really slick. Check this out. So we have a little rotation up there. Boom, that rotates up. A couple of these just pop on. Because the dialogue went so fast, I couldn't animate all of these because it was just a mess of things happening. So much stuff was moving you couldn't actually see. So I kind of punctuated this with the ones that I thought would work the best. And so these kind of slide up. And then right here I did something, and a lot of these things are so subtle that I'm afraid they get lost. See, this little phrase ends in, I would share Jesus with people at my job if ... And then out of those dots, if ... these dots pop on and then they instantly morph into the next quote. Boom. Just like that. And we have more of those rotates on, the slides, arrows, lots of rotates, little pops on. There we got another thing here where we have an if ... and the if pops on and forms this text box, which we zoom in on. Then we have this thing with the 3D looking little pop out words that kind of rotate down like a sign. Boop, 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 boop. We go to this blueprint thing, and we do a lot of this kind of right-on stroke effect stuff, as well as some kerning. We still got more of those slides and rotation effects. And we got another one of those cool morphs happening right here. See, we get the W. Ooh, clever, huh? You see that? See, the M-E is going to flip upside down with the camera move. And when it gets here, it's going to scooch over and it's going to become we. And this is all, it's literally the exact same size and shape as the real type for this. And then more of the same kind of pop-on and rotation stuff. But in the right way, this can be very, very effective. We see we got a letter that slide down. We have his that's going to turn into he. Boom. See, the H stays the same and everything else in the frame drops out and an E slots in right there just as has comes up. Already pops on. Nothing real fancy here, just a little digital screen thing. And more of this kind of rotatey stuff. This was kind of a more complex letter morph, both of the H and the E come out of this H. And this involved a good amount of time to make this look right. And I'll go into how I did that as well. And, you know, part of this is these simple moves here, but also part of it is the camera motion as well. You see here's another kind of cool effect where each one of these words kind of rotates and pops on, boop, 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 like that. And then all of them rotate as if they were all connected off screen just a little bit. And then as they rotate off, I use the same null to slot in this next word. I thought that was a pretty slick looking technique. Here we got the right on effect again. We're going to take a lot of the techniques that I used in this video. We're going to look at how to put them together and make them look really cool. These techniques have nothing to do with the content of this video, because the content of your video could be about anything. It's just, this is a cool looking typography video that used a lot of techniques that are fairly simple, but if you string it together in the right way, can be very powerful and make a very interesting looking video. So let's jump on into After Effects and get going.